Welcome to the Devil's Digest podcast. I'm your host and DevilsDigest.com publisher, Hoda Rabino, and with me today is freshman defensive end Julian Hugo. Julian, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yesterday, summer workouts ended.
Yes, sir.
Just talk about those last few months. What is some of the stuff that you were working on personally, and what do you think you were able to achieve as a result of those workouts?
Working on getting stronger, working on our endurance, definitely, and just working on our speed, change of direction is are all the things we've been working on like the past this summer, summer training. And something I've been personally working on is memorizing all the plays.
Mhm.
So I have to learn all the three tech stuff and as well as deep stuff. So I'm playing both.
Oh, okay. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't do much street tech during spring practice, did you?
They threw me in there like towards the end, and then I was
Okay.
in the package. So now I'm just honing in and learning
Mhm.
how to play three tech and how to rush there too.
Got it. Um, just talk to me about what's been, the first 7 months at Arizona State. Obviously, as a freshman, so much to get used to on the field, off the field. How's the process been so far?
The process was great. I really felt like the culture here uh, made me feel uh, made me feel welcome. The players they definitely open arms, and I felt welcome immediately. They showed me the ways. I was struggling a little bit with the plays and like the techniques at first. I was struggling, but the seniors definitely helped me out, such as like JT, who else, um, CJ, as well as
Mhm.
Bert and Regis.
Okay. Um, and being coached by Coach, Darron Reynolds has such a impressive resume, not only at the college level, but also the NFL level. Um, we now that you have like a spring practice under your belt, how would you describe, his coaching style? How much has he contributed to your development?
Coach Reynolds, he lets you be as great as you want to be, and he lets you have that freedom. My biggest thing he always told me like, if you gonna mess up, just mess up 100%, and that's in spring, I feel like I was just going 100%. I was messing up, and then we'd watch film after, and he'd correct me, and then I would just correct myself the next practice. And I feel like he allows me to be free, and he allows me to express myself as a player, but helping me grow as well.
I know you had a very, very impressive spring practice, maybe kind of snuck up on some people how well you did. Do you feel that you met your expectations or exceeded your expectations compared to
Uh,
like when spring practice started to when spring practice ended?
yes, sir. I think I met my expectations pretty well. I knew I just had to go out there and try my hardest,
Mhm.
and I feel like I did that in every aspect I could have. Even when I was messing up, I kept trying. I kept meeting up with coach after every practice, trying to soak in the playbook. Yeah, I think I met my expectations pretty
Mhm.
well.
Let's go back to the recruiting process with Arizona State. You're a four-star recruit, obviously getting a lot of attention from a lot of Big 12 teams, a lot of Power Four teams. When you go back to that period of time, Julian, what do you think was it about Arizona State that made such a strong impression, and obviously had you become a Sun Devil later on?
Yes, sir. So my recruiting process with Arizona State, I only took one OV, and that was to ASU. But
Mhm.
before then, I was doing unofficials. I went to TCU. I went to Baylor. I went to UNC, and I got to see their culture and how they practice and how it was. And the difference was just like it was crazy. I could see how the players interacted with the coaches, how the coaches interacted with the players, and it was just like the culture here is just amazing. And seeing that from a recruit perspective and actually being a player now on the team, I definitely feel that, and it's real. It was genuine, and that was my biggest concern. I don't want a program to sell me one thing, and it's a whole different story when I get there. And I feel like Arizona State has been everything they told me they've been. So I'm really happy.
So in other words, you thought that there might be a chance that the coaches and the players might change up on you a little, not only about you, but any true freshman coming in,
Yes,
like
sir.
the one person during the recruiting process, and now you're on campus in the spring, they might change up on you. And when that didn't happen, it sounds like you just felt even better about your decision.
Yes, sir. I feel way better about my decision. I feel like this is home. This is definitely a program I can stay like my whole career here for sure.
So word on the street is that months and months after you committed to ASU, there was one school in your hometown, home state of Texas. They got a little bull, a longhorn, for for a nickname that was after you pretty hard. How hard was it to say no to Texas and maybe say no to some other schools after you committed to Arizona State?
Yeah, I would say it was definitely like like oh wow, but I'm pretty loyal. I knew when I committed to ASU, like this was it. I definitely knew. Other schools came in the Big 12 trying to get me to flip, trying to get me to go on visits there, and I just knew like I denied it, and I stayed true because I knew ASU was home.
So when you talk about the team culture making such an impression on you ever since you took that official visit, I got to believe it's not only the philosophy that Kenny Dillingham does instill in the team, but it's also the fact that there's probably over 2 dozen Polynesian players. Uh, how big of an aspect when you look back at the whole recruiting process was that? And now that you're ready on campus for the last 7, 8 months, how is that poly pipeline and just that Polynesian brotherhood? How much has it helped you on the field and off the field during your time at ASU?
Yeah, it definitely helped me a lot. Recruiting process. I've never played with any other Polynesians before, so this is my
Oh.
first ever being on the same team as Polynesians. So, it's definitely a different experience. It feels like home on my OV. Seeing so many Polynesians, it made me feel at home for sure. And then now being here, it feels even more at home because I came in, they took me in, they showed me the ways, and now I feel very welcome. Uh, yeah, that's definitely a big reason to me coming to ASU as well.
So what do you think is it about the ASU culture that, when recruits or people from the transfer portal decide to come to ASU, they just embrace it right away. They're not like, overthinking it. They're not maybe resisting it. They're just like, hey, this culture is cool. I'm okay to accept it and to run with it. What do you think is it about the ASU culture that makes it so inviting and so accommodating for new players that are considering becoming a Sun Devil?
I would say the community, the camaraderie between the players. There was a lot of, I think more than half the team brand new on this ASU roster. So I feel like we all grew close, and I feel like I've known this team more than 7 months. And I
Mhm.
feel us sweating together, us working hard, pushing each other. It made us way closer, and that's just a testament to the culture Coach Dillingham built and instilled in this program. And everybody, all the coaches, all the staff, all the players, we all believe in what's going on, and we all believe in each other. So that's if everyone believes in each other and pushing each other, we're unstoppable, and that's the culture I want to play for.
So, in other words, you think it's impossible to be, not that close and not that, great relationship with your teammates off the field, but still end up playing really, really well on the field. In your opinion, it probably just goes really hand in hand.
Oh no, I feel like off the field, like the locker room's pretty tight. Like everyone,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's no egos. I could say hi to anybody, and so everyone's tight off the field and on the field, and it's amazing. It's great.
Is there one or two skills in Pacific, Julian, that you look at the first day of spring practice compared to the last day of spring practice that you really felt you improved on, a specific skill or technique?
I think I really improved on in the run. I feel like my aggression and my motor definitely carried me a lot, and I would say my pass rush moves definitely improved. Training under Coach Reynolds, so I would say those two.
When it comes to pass rush moves, I mean, is it a situation where you're just learning brand new moves you never did in high school, or is it just taking the moves you're already familiar with and just sharpening them and elevating them to the college level?
Yeah, I would definitely say taking the moves I learned in high school and just sharpening them up. Everyone's good in college. We're all here for a reason. And, going against that competition every day, I feel like I got way better. And as well as getting a feel for the game, the speed
Mhm.
of the game, I feel like one spring practice was like one high school football game. And that was the so getting used to that, recovering, uh,
Mhm.
yeah, that was it. After that, it was easy.
I know you can never compare the high school level to the college level, but I always feel that guys like yourself, four-star recruits from the state of Texas, where football is basically everything, really, that maybe that makes it just a little easier to go to a Power Four program. I mean, do you feel that there were some aspects of your high school career and maybe just the high pressure environment of high school that kind of helped you somewhat, even though it's different levels, but kind of helped you somewhat here in Tempe to become a successful player?
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. I come from Texas, and Texas ball, everyone loves football in Texas. So the
Mhm.
games, the stands being packed out. I haven't experienced the Mountain America crowd, but I feel I'm excited for it. But the intensity, I definitely trained really hard in high school. My coaches, our strength program, and I feel the intensity was almost at the level of college, and I feel that definitely prepared me as well as we woke up early in the mornings, practices, taking time out to watch film every day during lunch. It definitely
Mhm.
prepared for college.
So out of curiosity, when you watch film, I mean, how many times do you do it alone? How many times do you do it with other players around?
Also, during spring, I would text some of my D line friends to we would
Mhm.
go cold tub after practice and watch film. So I would
Mhm.
say after every practice, I would watch film. And then in high
Mhm.
school, I would watch film. I would watch film every day. I would try to, look at some tendencies that the O lineman had, some tendencies that just the quarterback had, and I would go over it with my coach every day. And I feel like I continue that to the collegiate level. I would reflect and I would watch over it with Coach Reynolds now and see what I can fix for the next practice.
So when you watch film, do you feel like maybe in the beginning when you watching film with your teammates that you're just kind of quiet, you're still a true freshman, just trying to absorb everything, and maybe months later, as you're watching film with your teammates, you're actually the one pointing out stuff. You're the one that's being more vocal, giving film feedback not only on yourself but maybe on some your teammates.
I feel like I definitely do feel like I'm pretty vocal when I'm watching film
Mhm.
because I want to correct my mistakes. But when I'm with the seniors and the older guys, I'll definitely let them lead it, and then they'll ask me for my feedback, and I'll tell them what I was thinking during that play and how I felt, and what can I do to adjust and do better next time.
I know that you're probably not even looking past first day of fall camp on August 5th, but a lot of ASU fans are excited for that game in London. I'm just kind of curious, in the locker room, is that a topic that comes up pretty frequently? I mean, that's kind of wild, especially for a freshman like yourself. First year ever of college football, and you get to experience a game, half the world away.
Yeah, everyone's excited for the London game. We keep talking about it. I mean, there's a lot of guys on the team that never been outside the country, so we're all excited to go to London. It's definitely exciting to play.
But do you feel it's something that comes up a lot when you talk to your teammates, or maybe you just really talking about other topics?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we definitely talk about the London game a lot, as well as the England game a lot. Those are our
Yeah,
two exciting games we're looking forward to.
absolutely. So coming out of spring practice, I mean, again, I know a lot of coaches were giving you props. I've been in spring practices. I saw how well that you played, but you really come across like somebody that's pretty humble, and you don't let those props get to your head. Do you feel that that's something that maybe coaches and players are telling you, hey, you did great in spring, keep your head down, or do you think it's something that's kind of organic that comes from yourself that that whatever props you were getting during spring practice doesn't mean anything, that you have to attack summer workouts as if you didn't do much in spring practice.
Yes, sir. So, I definitely it made me feel a lot better about myself and my performance. But at the end of the day, myself, I feel like I haven't done anything yet. I haven't contributed that much, in game. So I'm not, I'm not airheaded right now. And so and I'm not saying I'm going to be cocky when I do something, but I won't feel good about myself. I won't feel like fully good about myself contributing to the program until, I help the team in that way. So I'm really just preparing for that moment. Yeah, I can't wait.
So I'm not going to ask you to show it on camera, but you already have like a sack dance played when that first sack comes.
I have no clue. Normally I just yell, I'm just hyped. In the moment I get if I get a sack this year, when I get a sack this year, I'm gonna be, I don't know, I'm just gonna just yell or something.
Sounds good. Um, so, in order for you to really build on that strong foundation you had in spring practice and start fall camp on the right foot and really be a part of the rotation, part of the two deep in the season starts, what do you think you need to achieve between now and September 5th?
I feel like I really have to know the playbook now. That's gonna be a separator for sure. You can't be on the field if you don't know the playbook. And then as well as just honing my technique down and get working on my get off, my hands, and just being aggressive and building my confidence. I feel my confidence is definitely going to be the biggest thing. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Julian, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you Wednesday, August 5th at fall camp.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.